Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to our subscriber game tournament season 2 as we continue with our round 2 matchup here in group 5 between the Valiant Vanguard in the green versus ManThatIsBadger in the red. For this first match, we have Valiant Vanguard on defense, picking Lü Bu, Huang Fusong, and Sun Jian. So the unit choices are 3 units of the Xiliang Cavalry, 3 units of the Imperial Sword Guard, and 1 Archer Militia, because I think that's all the money he had left. And I don't know if this is a good allocation of fund. Obviously, most of the money went to the Imperial Sword Guard, which is a decent unit. They're very strong individual units, but they don't have turtle, so they're vulnerable to enemy range. You have to face the right direction with your shield wall to kind of protect them. And they're not unbreakable, which actually makes them much weaker, because the opponent can have ways to roar against them, have ways to kill your other units in general so that they rout with army loss where you don't even have to fight them. So I think when picking Huang Fusong, Defender of Empire is a much better choice. Lü Bu's unit, Xiliang Cav, I think they're a tad on the expensive side compared to some cheaper Lancer options, mainly because most cavalry used on defense are meant to catch the attacking army off guard, sneak behind their ranged weapons, and destroy them. But most often, it's going to be a suicide one-way attack. So the value you get on these units is the same. You're destroying some sort of siege weapon, you're destroying some sort of ranged unit, and then your unit is going to get killed. So the cheaper, the better. And Xiliang Cavalry might be a tad too expensive because obviously the rest of the army is rather thin. You end up with only 7 units, 3 of them being cavalry, to cover entire siege map. That is very difficult to do. Then looking at the attacking side, we have a very range-heavy army. Liu Chong, Zhou Yu, and Xu Huang. And Xu Huang has no unit. Liu Chong has 4 units of Chen Peacekeepers, 2 units of Chen Peacekeepers, that's the cavalry crossbowmen, and 4 units of the Chen Royal Guards, which is the crossbow unit. I think this is a tad waste of money because Chen Royal Guard here, the crossbow units, have the same exact damage output as a regular crossbow unit, which costs way less. You're paying for the extra armor they're wearing, and that's not really worth it. If you think about it, crossbow units are the worst unit to get extra armor, because in theory, doesn't matter how much defense you have, if you get into a melee fight, you're dying. If you are thinking about, I'm going to trade range fire with the enemy unit, well, what type of unit would have the same range as crossbow units? Other crossbow units. So you're fighting in this crossbow shootout where the armor stat doesn't even matter because armor piercing damage on crossbow. So I actually think crossbow unit are the worst to upgrade in terms of armor value, because the unit that you're going to be shooting with also will just ignore that armor, so you're just paying for nothing. But it's a cool unit, so 4 of those, 2 of the cavalry. And on Zhou Yu, we have a rank 7 trebuchet, we have a Juggernaut, which I absolutely love. I think Juggernauts are really underrated for siege battles. You're on the city streets, if you have the range superiority, you have good generals where you can dissuade enemy from charging at you, you will absolutely wreck in city streets. Just jet flames on units, absolutely wreck infantry. Really strong. Then we have Defender of Earth, which oil arrow, destroy towers really fast, can suppress enemy charges, very useful unit. And finally, 1 handmade guard for giving the general some, extra resistance here, 25%. So that's going to be kind of interesting, a range heavy composition with no infantry, no turtle formations. He's going to have to either face tank the towers or maybe have his Chen Royal Guard, which are, 80% range block chance plus 50% missile resistant, to sort of tank the towers for his oil arrows to kill the towers that he will attack. Or maybe he'll use the trebuchet to target the towers to open up a path. Regardless, it's going to be interesting to see how he defeats the outer wall. And also, Valiant Vanguard pull off some Vanguard moves and guerrilla deploy with his cavalry and Lü Bu to kill off these very dangerous siege weapons and oil arrows. Because if he can wipe out that section, just those 3 units, then the rest of the crossbow unit, as strong as they are, they cannot kill towers. So the bridge will become very hard to take. If you have shield wall with the Imperial unit on the bridge, when all they have left are those crossbow units, I think Valiant Vanguard will do just fine. Depends on how effective he can use his cavalry here. So let's check out the deployment and see how this battle actually plays out. So, looking at this deployment here, it's really weird. I think what happened is Valiant Vanguard deployed first, even though he's on defense. Because it looks like his units are guarding the wrong walls. So I would imagine maybe he was looking at the deployment of ManThatIsBadger being here, and then he deployed like, but even then, why all over the place? And it feels like he responded first and then hit start battle, and then the attacking side actually shifted, which, you know, it's a legit move. You should always wait till the attacking side finish and then hit start, and then the defending should respond. I mean, regardless, there was no effort to guerrilla deploy the unit. The cavalry are not outside, as you can see. They're inside. They do have guerrilla deployment. Yu Bu will give all his unit guerrilla deployment. So they're pretty content sitting in the square. This is interesting. It's still kind of hard for this army to defeat the outer wall because no one can really face tank the towers. So we'll see how this goes. General strength-wise, it's pretty even. I think Sun Jie and Yu Bu are decent fighters, both unbreakable here. And Xu Huang is the main fighter in this army. Liu Chong is going to be good abilities, but depends on how he, you know, have time to use them. Anyone's going to charge in his face. I'm going to speed up until I figure out what's going on, because it looks like they're going to pick a side. They pick this side. Who's going to face tank this? Looks like they're just going to charge, because clearly the Chenro Guard got into range too early. But thank God the aggro has been grabbed by these Chen Peacekeepers, which I said has tremendous range block chance and also extra missile resistance on top. Now the bomb arrows or the oil arrows have to do their thing, and then we'll be fine. Liu Bu's respawning by himself. All the units are too far away, which is why I think attackers deploying here is really good. Because, like, which side are they going to defend? And it's, like, really far maneuvering from both sides. If you favor any side, the attacker has a choice to just attack the opposite side and make your life a lot more difficult. What's he doing at the gate? Is he trying to break the gate with the general? I mean, you could, but, like, it's a very interesting move. I actually don't know if you want to actually break the gate as this army. Like, it's a very range heavy army. You kind of want to keep distance. You don't want to invite them out, right? If the cavalry stuck inside, oh, they're getting shredded. The PC on cavalry are dead. Crossbow units, there's so many of them shooting at them. So anyone gonna hit this tower? He's going, he's slow. Alright, so that cavalry is doomed. If they come, they're doomed too. What are they doing? Don't get into range. That's why guerrilla deployment would have been a lot more solid choice. As you can see, they're super vulnerable. Instead of running them all the way over, they could have just came out and done this. Okay, how are we progressing on the gate? They took the gate. It's open. They're just slowly going inside. There we go. Now what, right? You got the crossbow. You have to charge. Standing behind is not going to save you. You have no abilities or weapons that can hit at this range. So either you close this gap now, or you're just going to get shot, and then you're going to be weaker and weaker as you try to gain the rest of the distance. So what are they doing here? Alright, we got the charge, impetuous charge bonus. And they're flooding out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you don't want to be here. The Juggernauts are not set up. They need to set up quickly at the gate. Leaving the gate is hard. Unit pathing inside city is a mess in Total War games. Always have been, and probably always will. Kind of sad, but it's the truth. So yeah, you don't really want this gate open in my opinion. It's better if you shoot them from the outside. Here comes the trebuchet shots. There's really no good targets for trebuchet. I mean, eventually the Imperial, but like you have so many ammo. That's why the cavalry should have snuck out. Could have destroyed it. There was one cavalry right here in the beginning. Didn't go for it. All of a sudden trying to do hail of arrows. I mean, with the wall, you kind of prevent that. So I don't know why they're rushing in. Liu Chong's the only one who needs to rush in to do a nice little show of force to shut him down. Xu Huang's trying to get some poke. Just show of force. Stop getting into the path. He's using his crossbow. I don't know why people bring Liu Chong and like just does not spam show of force. Xu Huang wins this fight 1v1 for sure. They're charging again. Is he using his ability now? No, he's just using his crossbow. Lu Bu's coming, Lu Bu's coming. Lu Bu's pulled off? I mean, they have the handmade guard here for the... Lu Bu's going after units? This is always a puzzling decision, because units are free kills after you kill their general. But if you leave your other two generals to fight them and Lu Bu is busy with the unit and the generals die, then Lu Bu is kind of useless. Alright, a little roar has taken out the cavalry. Like, I don't think it even matters if Lu Bu kills all these units, if his two allies die here. Wisdom River used by Zhou Yu. That should speed things up. Do we have any dismounts? No, I think everyone's fighting on horseback. I mean, you have to remember the red side have these, you know, extra resistances, and if Lu Bu wanted to kill units, he should have killed this unit first. So Huang Fusong's gone. Lu Bu's getting chunked by 3. Xu Huang has dismounted for extra damage. He's using his ability, but it's hard to hit a moving target and a lot of friendly fire, and he's pulled it. Okay. It's alright. They just need to chase Lu Bu down here. I don't know what they're doing. There we go. Charge, charge, charge. Oh! Ooh! You got the second windup? That cooldown didn't turn on after the first one got cancelled. Interesting. Because that cooldown was way too fast. So clearly the first one didn't go on cooldown when that one got pulled. Okay, that boost is going to make sure no one routes. And we will fight to the death until Lu Bu dies. And now it's Sun Jian's turn. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many units you kill. You have to win your general versus general fight. Like, Xu Huang staying alive can just slam your Imperial units over and over again until he kills them all. Plus, since they're not unbreakable, once all the generals die and the other units take plenty of damage, they're doomed. Plus, we got these flamethrowers still here. Ah, maybe Huang Fuzong come back and throw a nice little hail of arrows into here. Oh, range block chance. Never mind, not happening. One step ahead here. Don't use it now. He's going way too close. Yeah, he was told to go way too close. Just stay here. You could have shot it from here. Now he's not getting out. Any tap of damage, he's gonna rout. You don't want to be surrounded by infantry and get hit where you're already low morale, but it's fine. Looks like, you know, Sun Jian's dead. Bomb arrows are still going. Huang Fusong's neck. And then we have these trailing Imperial units. One little archer militia, which is a terrible recruit in my opinion, because like that unit routes super easily. Once it does, it hurt your other unit by giving them a nearby ally routing debuff, which you just kind of want to avoid. Yeah, easy kill, just gonna go chase, touch it, and it's gonna start routing. Yep. And plus, with show of force, you can just kind of kite it out and just keep show of forcing the Imperial units. Look at this little nice straight line. So look, yep. And that's it. Well, it was a strange fight. Whenever you pick cavalry as the defensive side, you're thinking about flanking maneuvers outside the city. Your cavalries are never going to be very useful on these narrow streets. You're frontal charging all the time. That's not how cavalry are designed. So you need to get outside. Towers are your friend. People can't really chase you that far. You can just chase them back to the towers and then you're kind of looping them. So not making that effort, letting the trebuchets do its thing. It's just sad that Juggernaut didn't get to do anything. Because honestly, I think even if you destroy the gate, it's fine. You don't need to go inside. What's the advantage of putting all your crossbowmen inside? Just put the Juggernaut here, put all the crossbowmen here, and then you force them to, sit back here, and then you can start moving things up one at a time until you sit here. Same thing, you just kind of keep pushing them back. And plus, with the trebuchet range, like they can't even sit here. They have to sit like back in the plaza, and then you start putting units in. But even when the generals came, Lu diving for units is just a bad mistake, I think. Your generals need to kill the enemy general. That's the main threat. General versus general is the key fight in most of these battles. Once you come out ahead, as we have seen in some of the earlier battle where, let's say, Vengeful wins out, stays alive, use just hamstring ability, kills like 450 units in a battle. That's kind of how you want to deal with the infantry afterward. They're just sitting ducks at that point without support of their generals. So much like the case of these Imperial units who filed in, once the generals are all dead, just going to get picked on and picked apart. And that's kind of the fight. So let's see the actual number. Yeah, surprisingly, not a lot of casualties on, not a lot of kills on any of these units. I don't think any of the range units got time to sit there and shoot because they were rushing through that gate. So Lu Bu and Sun Jian got a lot of kills, but it didn't get them to win because the key was you have to kill the enemy general. And with this composition, all they really had to do was focus on Xu Huang. Once they kill Xu Huang, there is not a lot of fighting power left. We have a commander, 25k, a double health strategist with only 15 attack rate with 40k health, easily killed by these generals. So all that needed to happen is these three generals run in, kill Xu Huang, have the cavalry flank from behind, take out the siege weapons. And the rest of the battle is quite easy. This is an overspin on the crossbowmen, very easy to punish, but it didn't happen. So congratulations to ManThatIsBadger for taking the attack win, and hopefully we'll see a more exciting battle when they swap sides and see the results to see if anyone's advancing directly top 8, or perhaps Val and Vanguard can tie things up, and we'll see 2 more contestants for round 3. So until then, bye!